Welcome to another coronavirus chat with me, Zoe Dawes, the Quirky Coach. It's St. Patrick's Day today, but of course in Ireland and throughout the world there are none of the huge St. Patrick's Day celebrations that are going on because virtually we're all in lockdown. I've just been listening to the latest news with the Prime Minister and the Chancellor of the Exchequer and the, don't know what you call him, anyway, the head of the health, the Corona chief, talking about the latest things being put in place, which hopefully are going to help a lot of businesses and people in general throughout what is going to clearly be a long and financially harrowing time, not to mention the stress of the health problems. So I just thought I would let you know what I've been up to and share with you again some tips, some advice, some thoughts and some quirkiness just to get us through. So I'm hoping this will be about a 10-minute chat where I can go through, as I say, what I've been doing and finish off with a little uplifting message for you. So one of the things I went and did was get my hair cut yesterday. I go to a lovely lady called Jane who works on a farm. Her husband is a farmer and she's been cutting my hair for, 10 years. She's been cutting my mum's hair, my aunt's hair for much, much longer than that. And I thought I'd better go because I'm not quite sure, in a few weeks' time if we're going to be allowed out. So I had it cut ever so slightly shorter than normal. But I said to her, well, it might have to last a few more weeks. And then we started talking about how it might actually have to last months. So I could be like Rapunzel in the end, which won't be a good look. Believe you me, I will not look good with long straight hair hanging down. So that was one thing. I did a bit of shopping. You'll be glad to know I've got enough toilet rolls to last me at least another few weeks. A good thing is the spa opposite doesn't really have runs on things. It has most of the things I want, but I was down at the local supermarket and a lot of the shelves were empty, but it was generally good humoured. The other thing I did was clean the bathroom. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not especially keen on cleaning the bathroom in depth. And I wouldn't say it was a deep clean because it's not really my thing. But I did swab the decks and, gave it a good old wash, which I have to say I haven't done for a while. So took everything out, put it all in the landing, and then squirted disinfectant everywhere and made sure that it was as clean as possible. So I feel that was my bit of the deep spring clean that is supposed to be going on now. And then I've also had a couple of clients and I thought I'd just share with you how that's working out because most of my work is coaching work, life coaching, mainly with business people. And so I had one face-to-face client yesterday, but I suspect that may well be the last of my face-to-face clients. And this is a lady who has been looking at changing direction quite significantly. She works in a large company at the moment, but she wants to pursue her own dream of kind of helping other people. And she came along quite distressed because obviously with the financial situation at work, she wasn't sure what would be happening. Would she be keeping her job? Would she be being laid off? And we had to sort of look at all the realities of that. And then we started to look at what are the opportunities that she's got in the short term to start doing what she really wants to do in her heart of hearts, which, as I say, is to help other people. She will probably go into some kind of holistic therapy business, but that will take time. She's doing training at the moment. And of course, one of the things that we looked at is where she lives, and there is a thriving village community there. So we talked about how she could perhaps offer her services to, there'll be a village committee, villages or in towns all over the place are getting together to see how they can help vulnerable people. And so we looked at what might be online in Facebook groups for the village, and she found there was an active group there. And also had a look at where she might be able to go along to the village committee or whatever and offer her services when she's not working. She works 4 days a week at the moment. Might be down to being at home a lot of the time later. But she is going to offer her services to be able to go and do shopping for people, but also because she wants to try the listening skills. So we're saying that perhaps she could be somebody that people can phone up just for a chat if they're feeling a bit lonely. So she came away feeling quite focused with some actions to do. And because she's not really been on Facebook very much, one of the actions is to look at how she can up her engagement there. The other client was would normally have been face-to-face, but from now on we will be doing Skype. I am also using Zoom. I expect Skype and Zoom will be coming into full force in the next few weeks. And that was very interesting because here the client has been very focused on a specific course of action. We've been working together for over a year now, and suddenly everything has had to go on hold because of the nature of her work. She's had a number of things cancelled. She needs to be face-to-face with clients a lot of the time. And so again, we had to look at strategies, but part of the session was actually dealing with the fear that she was feeling, the anxiety, quite severe, about what to do. Her personal circumstances are such that if she's not working, then there is no income in the household. So that again was dealing with some of the more personal side of things, as well as looking at some strategies that we could put in place. And again, one of the things that we talked about was how you deal with the fear. And one of the things I strongly recommend is that you do face it and look at the what if scenarios, and then consider, okay, what can I do about these things? And then also, what can't I do anything about? And with those things, you just have to leave them. I spoke to my youngest brother today. He's got emphysema. And I said, are you worried? And he said, no. So he said, it is what it is. I'm doing everything they're telling me. I'm looking after myself, but I'm not worrying because it's just a waste of my energy, which I thought was a very good thought. So that's my day, and I finished it off by pulling you a few cards. I will be doing this each day. From this time, it's from the Gilded Tarot deck, which is one of my absolute favourites. It isn't the card I pulled. It'd been lovely if it was. It's the Sun card, but the deck, as you can see, is beautiful and colourful, and I thought we needed some cheering up here. Interesting cards that came up. I just do a current situation, challenge and opportunity. And the first card is the Ten of Wands. Now this is coming up an awful lot at the moment. The tens, particularly the Ten of Swords and the Ten of Wands, where things can get overwhelming. And as you can see in this card, this chap is overburdened. And this is about creativity, it's about actions, but it's also about the passion, the thoughts. It's a combination of a lot of things. It can be about work, but it is about the creative and passionate side of work. And it's that feeling of being overburdened with too much going on. But it also does signify that it's time to lay down some of those burdens. And if those burdens are too many things that you're trying to do to deal with the current situation, then now is the time to consider laying down some of these. Because what we have got is our challenge, and it is interesting that it's in the challenge. It's one of the major arcana cards. So these are very strong, powerful cards. And the challenge for us is to find our inner strength. We're all going to have to be much stronger than we may have thought we were going to need to be in March of 2020 to deal with all kinds of different problems. The good thing about this kind of strength, as you can see, it's usually a female in this figure with a lion. Sometimes she has a hand in his mouth. But the message here is very much about finding that inner power that we all know that, we've had in the past, but maybe it's a bit difficult, but we need to pull on it now. I'm, speaking the blindingly obvious here, but it's interesting it's come up as our challenge, because we can sometimes, if we're feeling overwhelmed and overburdened, it can be a difficult thing to find that strength. So wherever you can, however you can, find it. You will have it. We will get through this, but you may feel overwhelmed in the short term, and you need to know and find and tap into that strength. And our opportunity, And this is the time of harvest. Interestingly, this would be almost like an autumn card. It's the Seven of Pentacles. And this is about you taking time out to actually look at what you've already achieved and what lessons, I would say, this is the big thing coming over to me of this card. What lessons have you learned from this? I pulled an extra card from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, and it's the, oh my God, upside down now. It's the snake. Now, whatever you might think of snake, I thought you'd just like to know this message. So it's earth, it's down to earth energy. And it says, regardless of whether this image rings true for you, it's well worth considering the amount of unawakened or untapped potential within. So what skills, talents, abilities have you got that you can now call on to help you through this tough time? So finally, a little message here. When life gives you lemons, add a little gin and tonic. And that's just what I've done. Blatant plug here for a good friend of mine, John McEwen, who is producing his own gin, Wolftown Gin, which you can get online at Wolftown UK. There we go. Because, you know, he's a small business guy and he needs help, as we all do. I didn't add gin. I did add gin. I didn't add lemons. I added cucumber and some light tonic. So cheers to you all, and here's to getting through the coronavirus pandemic with our spirits held high.